Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Sasquatch Watch Radio with your host, Billy Willard, and the Blog Squatcher. Strap in, hold on tight, get ready, because it is about to go down.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. Today is September 28th, 2009. I am your host, Billy Willard, and just so that everyone knows, DB will not be here tonight. He is having some computer issues that my understanding is he's pretty furious about, so hopefully he'll be able to get that fixed and be back with us next week. So I'm going to fly solo tonight. Of course, I'll have some help behind the scenes to help me catch any questions that I might miss in the chat room. And just so that everyone knows, we are going to have as a guest tonight Mr. Joedy Cook out of Ohio. Joedy has brought it to my attention that he is preparing to have published 2 books that will be available in the next few months, and we'll get him on the line to have him tell us a little bit about those books. Matter of fact, I think we may have him on the line, but real quickly, what I will mention, first of all, is the call-in number tonight. Please feel free to call in and ask any questions whatsoever, and the number here, of course, is 347-237-5070. Again, it's 347-237-5070. So let me see if this is who we have on the line. Area code 513, you're on the air.
Hey, Billy, it's me.
And we have him, Mr. Joedy Cook. How you doing tonight, Joedy?
Pretty good. Trying to get logged in here, but it's not letting me log in and stuff.
Yeah, it's always something with Blog Talk.
Yeah, I'm using my name, and password, and it's telling me it's invalid, so I can't get into the chat.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it happens. I know that a lot of times as the show goes on, we get like an influx of people, and I think it's because they all have the same problem for whatever reason. I guess it's when everybody maybe tries to log in at the same time or something. I don't know. I don't know what causes that, but
I don't know. I guess
hopefully they'll. Yeah.
But anyhow, if anyone says hi to me or anything like that, just let them know there's no. It's not letting me log in, so therefore I can't. I can't send out anything on the chat line or anything like that. So it's not letting me do it.
I've got Kelly telling me that it happened to her too. So apparently you're not the only one that's got this problem. So yeah. So anyway, Old Spice had asked area code 347. Where is that? To be honest with you, Old Spice, I don't have any clue. It's just a general number that Blog Talk has given this radio show. I've never really looked it up to see where that's based, but if I was a guessing man, I would say it's maybe somewhere up in the Northeast, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a New York number, but don't hold me to that. I may be wrong. But
just look it up in the phone book. It'd be there.
Get on the search engine, look up area codes. I'm sure it'll tell you. But I think I did check it one time, and I thought it was New York, but don't hold me to that. I can't remember. But anyway, welcome to the show tonight, Joedy. I'm glad you could come on, and I'm glad you told me that you're coming out with some books. And I know a lot of folks that like to hear that somebody's coming out with some books.
Yeah, it's I haven't been on, like I said, I haven't been on the line for quite a while, and I've been, like I said, something I've been wanting to do. I've been working on 2 books, kind of simultaneously with each other. and stuff. The first one that's going to be released is called Traces of the Grassman, and it basically, like I said, it deals, with Bigfoot in Ohio, the Grassman. What I did basically is, I broke it down to where, I did some more information, like as far as the geography of the Ohio Valley than what was in, the first book, and then, more of a credibility, to Bigfoot in Ohio. And then we went, I did where the Bojesman, which is another name of Bigfoot that was here in Ohio back in the 1800s, and I went into some, history about that, and then I talked more about the actual structure, the Kenmore structure, went into, a lot more detail about that, talked more about, what was with the Monster Quest stuff that we were doing, and then, I, devoted a whole chapter to the American Bigfoot Society,
right.
And the investigation that we were doing and so forth up at Salt Fork State Park and so forth. So, I mean, it's a really good book. It's got some really good information out of it, that we did. It has no pictures in it. It's strictly a word book itself. But I haven't yet got a price as far as what it's going to be. It's going to be anywhere between like $19.95 or within the $24 range,
okay.
On that one. So
all
it's
right.
probably going to be more than $19, $19.95.
Well, that's actually a little more affordable than most. I know a lot of the books nowadays go for upwards of $30 and $30+ dollars. So.
Well, the thing with is when publishing companies, what they do is paranormal stuff is hot. I mean, it's really getting hot right now, and they know it sells, and that's why they do come up with these ridiculous prices sometimes on the book. You do get a pretty good I'll get a pretty good setback on the books and stuff, but it kind of bothers you at the offset, the price that people are going to pay, and so forth. But the second book that's going to be released is I think it's the prize book, and basically what that one is it's called The Beginner's Guide to Bigfoot Research, and basically what the book is when someone wants to get into becoming a researcher in Ohio, or not Ohio, this is, like I said, this is all over the, United States, but, just someone wants to get into how do I do it? What do I do to become a researcher? How do I do things? And I broke it down. Also on this one right here, I had someone do the book with me by the name of Jeff Morris, and Jeff Morris is, he's a paranormal investigator, and his brother, Mike, did a lot of the, the photograph stuff and, some of the computer imaging and stuff like that, and things. And he, like I say, he's in the paranormal field. He has a book out on, ghosts and things like that. So he's a really good author. So, we came up with this idea on doing a book on, becoming a Bigfoot researcher. And, like the chapter, like the first chapter is basically, how do I become an investigator? Steps, to do on becoming an investigator, how to do interviews. And, we talk with a lot of different people, a lot of different other researchers. How do you do your interviews? How do you do certain things? So, everybody got like a different type of aspect of what's going on.
Right. That's good. I mean, it's good to be able to talk to different research, because everybody does have a little bit of a different method, and I think there's always pluses to, I've heard a lot of different opinions on how to interview a witness, and you always pick up on really good facets in all of them.
Well, it's like when I go to school for criminal justice. I'm getting my degree in criminal justice, and one thing I learned just through criminal justice, and the research that I do and stuff like that, of getting on a rapport with a person. Don't go in there and start the investigation right away. You got to get the individual comfortable with you. You know, you got to get him where they're going to be able to tell you. Once they're comfortable, then you can really find out. I mean, is this just strictly bull crap, or is this something that's legit? But start off a rapport, and I talk about that on the rapport with someone before you get the investigation started. Then we go into like evidence, okay? How to collect evidence, and that was something that I talked to different researchers about and things like that. How does the proper way would you would collect evidence? Really, the thing of it is, there's no proper way to do a whole lot of stuff here, because when there's really no protocol out there, when it comes to like there is in like what MUFON has and things like that. We talk about having a journal with you, things like that. How do I verify evidence? Who do I talk to help verify evidence? And then we go into, which I find is probably the best chapter of the book, is what I call like a hypothetical situation. Mm-hmm. Okay, what happens if I find a body? Okay, or I find physical evidence. Okay, how do I collect that evidence? Who do I talk to? We talked with attorneys about this. We talked to the state, different states as far as their protocol towards something like this. How would you handle? We talked with the federal government as far as the Division of Wildlife. Mm-hmm. We went through all different aspects. Who would take control of it? How would they do things? And it's really interesting what you find out. It's like each state, it's like a dare kill on the highway. Well, you see a deer and you would decide you want to pull off the side of the road and take the antlers. Well, you can be arrested for it on a simple fact because it's state property. Mm-hmm. Right. And you have to and that's kind of a neat thing, and I talk about things like get an rapport going on with people. You're like your veterinarian. That is a good source right there. Attorneys, doctors, be able to people you can go to if you find something like that. I talk about individuals like John Bendenagel, Jeff Muldren, people like that who to contact about something like that. And it's a really good scenario.
All right. Now, one of the first questions that I saw come up just a second ago in the chat room, Joedy, was from Jordan, and mm-hmm. Jordan wanted to know, and I don't know if you can tell this or not, but he wants to know if your book is being published by Hancock House.
No, actually, because Hancock House actually takes almost a year to get published through them, and they send it overseas to a third world country to basically those people don't know English as far as when they proofread. Okay, and that's the problem that I have with Bigfoot in Ohio. We had a section in there about the Jack Nicholson golf course, or Jack however his name was pronounced. But they had the correct name in there, and they said no, it's not Jack Nicholas, it's Jack Nicholson.
Right.
And they changed it, and it kind of made things look bad. And then that's the problem you have. So I went with two publishers, they're here in the United States, so where I know, that it's going to be done right.
Right.
And plus, like Jeff Morris, he's a proofreader. This guy's he wrote numerous stuff. He knows what he's doing. And he proofread the book and stuff, and and really had no problem there. So
I guess the question I have, Joedy, would be, did you have any help on the book, or is this all strictly coming from you?
No, because Jeff, the other guy that helped the second book, he helped me with a lot of the research and stuff that was going on because to verify the stuff that I was doing, I wanted someone to back me up in verification. Okay. And that was good because I had someone check me on what I was doing, to make sure the information that I was putting out was correct. Okay. So, and I should highly suggest that to anyone that's doing a book. Always have somebody, back you and on what you're doing. But right. The majority of all the information in the book is my information, the information that that I've done, that I've researched throughout the years, and that I just kept aside for when I was planning on doing a book.
Right. Now this is a little bit unrelated to the book, which kind of gets me into another thing. As soon as I ask this fellow's question, I'm actually going to get you to kind of do an introduction because this is actually the first time we've had you on the show other than the ABS Expedition show. Mm-hmm. We've never had you on here, solo. So we'll get you to do that, but I'll ask this gentleman's question first. He goes by West Virginia Big, which I believe is probably, I think it's Steve out there in West Virginia. He wants to know, are there any reports in Ohio bordering Marshall County in West Virginia? Marshall County being the bottom of the county in northern panhandle of West Virginia.
No, I just recently, no, I haven't had that. I would have to, right now go back and, check if there's anything, that's in my book, my last book in there. But as of right now, there probably is. It's just I don't have the information in front of me to give him. If he wants to contact me through my email, I would be happy to, look that information up for him. I highly suggest don't go on the BFRO website, because, like I said, I just don't, I question a lot of their sightings that they have on their websites for Ohio.
Right. Now, we have a lot of folks in here that, as a matter of fact, we have a lot of guests tonight. I don't know who the guests are, but they could be new folks. We may have some other new folks in here. So tell them exactly who you are, what got you into this, and a little bit about what you do.
My name is Joedy Cook. I have an organization called the Ohio Center for Bigfoot Studies. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Been doing the Bigfoot stuff for right about 15 years. Been into the paranormal field for about 18 years. Prior to that, I was a UFO investigator. But I did have my sighting. I do talk about it in my book, Traces of the Grassman. When I was in the military in the early 90s and stuff. And I just, with the group that was here in Cincinnati, we were getting a lot of Bigfoot reports and so forth, so I decided to go ahead and take those to get away from the UFO stuff, and that's basically how I was really, I really got into it.
Right. Now, do you mind just giving us just a brief overview of your sighting?
Okay. It was... in '93, it was up in Grayling, Michigan, which is a military base that the United States and the Canadian Forces reserve units used. And we were coming from the range, and we were getting back to the ASP, which is the ammo supply point. And we had to get there before it got dark, otherwise we were stuck with, the ammunition we would have to stay there with into the morning. So we went off-road to get to the ASP a little bit quicker. And as we were going down the road, the tree line and the trees were getting a lot more thicker than as we were farther going down. So it got to a point where we had to end up stopping because the trees were just getting too thick and getting too close together. And as we stopped, we saw the creature in front of us. I'm estimating about 15 feet.
Wow.
It could be 12 feet. It could be, a little bit further. But it just, it just seemed it was extremely close to us. And we didn't even see the thing until it moved. And my thing I talk about in my book, if it would not have moved, we probably would never have ever noticed it. Okay, it was myself and 3 other guys, and we all make eye contact with this thing, and it was standing in front of us, and it looked at us, and it was still looking at us as it was walking off to our right, and then went into the tree line and stuff. And I can't say it was extremely frightening or anything, but I just felt that it wasn't going to harm us. And, it was more curious, I think, with us, than we were with him. And, we didn't mention anything about it, or anything like that, because the simple fact was about 2 days prior to that, when there were lanes going on, and the officers who were out there checking the lanes, lanes is what in the military is that you do maneuvers and you're being graded on your maneuvers. And, right. 2 officers actually seen one, and they got a lot of flack for it, right. And so forth. So that's why we never mentioned it. And I really never mentioned it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know a lot of. Well, I've talked to a couple Marines actually that pretty much don't want their names known and really didn't discuss it with anyone. So I know what you mean there. A lot of folks in the military.
Well, the thing of it is, you're not going to get a Section 8. You're not going to get court-martialed. You're not going to get thrown out of the military or anything like that. You're just going to get teased, Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of people in the military that sees these things on military reservations, But that was the biggest thing. You just don't, want to just take the crap from people,
Right. So now I had I don't know if it's still here or not. JC missed it. Bad on you, JC. You missed a question. I think it was Old Spice. A fellow by the name of Old Spice, I think, asked if a lot of UFO researchers have Bigfoot sightings, or do you know that?
You know what? I totally disagree. There as a connection between UFOs and Bigfoot. I think that's a bunch of crap. Okay. When I was doing it, Ron Schaffner will probably tell you the same thing, because I know Ron's out there. You get reports where people, when they have UFO sightings, they may mention the fact about Bigfoot. I just think, I won't even touch them, because I just think it's crap. I don't think there's any connection, whatsoever between Bigfoot and UFOs.
Okay. And then,
but they're out there.
Okay. We had another question from Mr. New York. His question is that you had mentioned having eye contact. Can you remember facial features?
I can remember everything about this creature. Everything. It was a brownish red color, the hair. The hairline was back. It was further up. It looked like, you ever seen a dog with mange? And that was the best way I can describe it. It looked like his body and everything was just mange. You can see parts of the hair gone and things like that. There was no hair that much on the chest, no facial hair whatsoever, other than what I call the Amish beard, the deep black eyes, had a large brow to him, very muscular, extremely muscular. The back was almost like a V. The buttocks, the tightness of the calves in this thing, no neck whatsoever. His arms, that was the biggest, because it was a side view of him, what we saw, and his arms, Christ, I'd give my left nut just to have arms like him. It was that his body was absolutely cut. But like I said, he just looked like he had mange, and it had a very human facial features and a very Caucasian nose.
Right. Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, we got a caller on the line. I know who it is. Welcome to the show, Mr. Henry May.
Hello.
Hey,
And hello. Hey, Joedy.
Hey.
All right. Good to hear from you guys tonight. And I just wanted to ask Joedy, what did I want to ask him? I'll think of it in a second. I guess I wanted to ask him about what sort of anomalies have you noticed in some of the reports that you've gathered?
As far as, what do you mean as far as anomalies?
Like, the little tells, like where you could tell whether they were lying or whether they were telling the truth.
Well, the thing of it is, one thing I learned through criminal justice, really, there's absolutely no way of telling someone is lying or someone is telling the truth. There is, when you get into the law enforcement aspect, there's certain things you can look for. If someone looks off to the, up to the right, automatically that they're lying. If they look up to the left, because they look up to the left, that means you're actually trying to remember an incident or trying to remember certain information that you want to pass on. There's things like that, but they're just, it's hard to really, my biggest thing is, you can't bullshit a bullshit artist. If you know what you're doing, if you know what you're talking about, you can easily, I think you can tell if someone's giving you a bunch of crap, about a story. Now, I've been, I've been on investigations. I've talked to investigations where, I really believe these people, and it just turned out to be the biggest hoax, and it's really, really hard, The biggest thing is, like I mentioned in, my second book, is that, you got to watch on being played by people, because these people, when they start to cry, when they start to shake, investigators, they don't, they think, okay, this person's crying, this person's shaking, they're freaking out. It's true. And they get, and the thing of it is, you as an investigator, it's your job not to lead the person into giving you the information, but yet they can sit there and bring you in to feed you what you want to know. Mm-hmm. So you have to seriously watch, what you're doing and how you talk to people. But it's just like I said, it's just, you can be taken very easy. It's really, it's really hard, to try not to get screwed. And one thing I talk about in my book, don't put an 800 number out. All right, don't give your home number out on websites and stuff like that, because you're just going to get, you're going to get cranked. And
of course.
All hours of the night.
Yeah, I know all about that. Yeah, I know.
And that's a real bad idea. If you're going to leave a phone number out, you put your cell phone number out, or get a cheap phone to put your number and stuff in. But and that's one thing I talk about. Never give your information out.
Hey, I highly recommend Magic Jack.
That's a good
hotline number.
Yeah, or scat line or something like that. And stuff. But and like I said, that's one thing that I talk about, in the book is, when you do an investigation, how do I do an investigation? How do I handle investigation? How do I handle people on investigations? And like I said, I had had to talk to a lot of people, about that. How do they do it? Because everybody does everything different. When it comes to collecting evidence. And, collecting information and, things like that. It's like I have a section here talking about, cast, how to make a plaster cast, the best stuff to use for plaster cast. Well, I got information in there about how different other researchers do it, because not everybody does it the same.
Yeah.
So, right.
But
sounds like a lot of good tips that's going to be in that book.
Well, the thing of it is, like I said, I did a lot of research on it. And talk with a lot of people, about some of the stuff that's like I said, it's in the book, and I got a section in there which I call the poor man's Bigfoot kit for things you can use just to start out when you're starting out being a Bigfoot researcher, and I've got all kinds of different things in there about different type of trail cams. Some of the trail cams that are out there that you can use, the pricing of them, a lot of resources and stuff on a lot of that stuff. I did a lot of research on making sure that a lot of this stuff is correct. On out there what people are going to be able to use. Because there's nothing out there, and like I was talking about the chapter that I did about when it comes to the evidence, about what happens if I find a body. There's no protocol out there, absolutely none whatsoever. And I had to make a hypothetical situation up in order to do that. That might be a good protocol one day to use. But, it took a lot of research, talking to a lot of different lawyers, talking to, a lot of people in the different, state governments, different, parts of the federal government, about this. And if there was ever a body, believe me, from the people that I've talked with, it's going to be fought over, on a state and a federal level on who has possession of this thing. Because they will take it from you.
Oh yeah.
And we had to sit there and talk with an attorney, about this. If it has any DNA traits of a human, okay, can I be arrested, for having a body, that might be human and stuff like that. But there's no laws out there on Bigfoot. Now there's laws in certain states protecting it from being killed, but there's no laws anywhere that I found. They might be out there, but I found nothing, protecting a body if one is ever found. And I talk about, say if the NSA or, some federal agency comes to your door, knocking on your door, showing a badge, an ID, well, we want the body. Well, and I talk about, well, you need to verify that that's who they are. Call your local law enforcement agency, call your attorney to make sure that they're legit, and who they are. And if they have the rights to come and confiscate this, and things, so, and anybody can get a badge.
I can hear Bill chomping at the bit, so I know he wants to ask you some questions.
Go ahead.
How you doing, Joedy?
Hey, Bill. What's up, buddy?
Looking forward to your 2 new books coming out in a couple months.
Yeah, the Traces of the Grassman will be out in about 2.5, maybe 3 months. Then the Beginner's Guide to Bigfoot Research will be out probably, I say, maybe 4, maybe 5 months. It may be a little bit longer, on that one, because, like I said, that's with a different publishing company that's handling that one.
Yeah. Are those books going to be available on Amazon? Or
they'll be available on Amazon. They'll be available through their websites. They'll be available through, they should be available through most of the bookstores.
Yeah.
So,
take your time, though, about sending me the other book there, like I said in the email to you.
Well, yeah, when those other one comes, I'll send them all to you together. Yeah,
but,
I'll send them all to you together.
Yeah. Are you currently investigating any possible sightings of folks?
Here's the standard question.
Well, right now I'm looking into some stuff that's going on right now. Nothing too spectacular. Like I said, a lot of the time that I've been doing is, like I said, I've been putting a lot of time and stuff into these 2 books. I've been another thing I've been doing too is I've been doing a lot of paranormal conferences across the country, and it's neat because I'm being paid to talk about Bigfoot now, and things like I have my own I'm with a management company, that same guys that do the guys from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunter International and stuff, and I'm actually speaking at a conference down in Tennessee this weekend with Ken Gerard and stuff. And I'm here in Cincinnati on October 10th. I'm speaking actually in Miamitown, which I'm speaking at a conference there. And then October 16th, 17th, and 18th is a huge paranormal conference here in Cincinnati by the University of Cincinnati. And the guys from Ghost Hunters International are going to be there. Paranormal State's going to be there. The guys from the show Supernatural are going to be there. The one chick from Police Academy, that blonde with the big breasts and stuff, and she was in the movie The Devil's Rejects. She's going to be there. It's going to be a big. It's a huge con. It's like $450 for for the whole weekend pass with the VIP dinner and everything. And Bobby Mackey's going to be there and stuff. And it comes to like $75 a day, to get in there. And it's doing real good on almost getting sold out on the tickets that they've got. So and like I said, I got these promo shots that they had done of me, which are really neat, that you go to a conference and people pay $10 for you to sign in here. It's like one of these Hollywood shots, type things, and stuff. And it's neat because, like I said, now I'm being paid to do what I love doing. And I'm in talks with a television show right now on doing a upcoming show on actually series on Bigfoot researching and stuff. So I mean, things are working out real good. I mean, really good for me.
Joedy, did you watch Destination Truth? What was it last?
I like Destination Truth, and the thing of it is, he wears that scar, and I talk with him and stuff because he seen my picture, because in my picture I'm wearing one of the scarves that he does, and we were joking about it because it's like, I told him I had mine from Iraq, so I had mine longer than yours. Your show's only been about 2 years. I've been wearing mine and stuff because people, he was like, oh, you got that for me, and I said no, I've been wearing that, so he's a good guy, and things. I mean, I like his show. It's a lot better, I think, this year than it was last year.
Yeah.
So they do.
Are you looking forward to the new season of Monster Quest? I guess that's coming out, I don't know, at the end of this year or next year.
Yeah. Well, Monster Quest is going to be doing a couple more years of shows, and they're really interested in doing another show on Bigfoot, the Ohio Grassman, and stuff. So I know that they're probably going to be doing that show and things. But like I said, I got some other stuff I'm working on with a couple other stations on on some shows on Bigfoot that's going to be coming up here and things. So like I said, things are working out real good.
Now, Joedy and Billy, I got a question for both of you. Seeing that there's like a lot of sightings in Ohio, Virginia, and Pennsylvania now of Sasquatch or footprints, do you think that's like a correlation with the weather? We're having like a lot of rain and stuff and different weather.
Well, to be honest, here in Virginia, we really haven't had. Only certain parts of Virginia have had a lot of rain. Here in Northern Virginia, we're kind of lacking in rain. Our sightings I haven't had a sighting in a couple months now. The sightings in Pennsylvania, however, are exploding right now. They've already had, I think, 24 sightings in Pennsylvania since the beginning of the year. So they're really cranking them out there. I don't know if that's true in Ohio too or not. Joedy, are y'all having a lot of sightings out there?
The sightings that's ending up in Ohio, I know. I got a couple of them, where people were calling me about some sightings that were taking place up at, around the Salt Fork area. I had a couple of them that were in the Toledo area, and the most recent ones I had were out towards Portsmouth, Ohio. What I look at is, when the weather's real hot, you don't get a lot of sightings. When the weather gets to be cooler, I'm not talking winter time, but when the weather gets to be a little bit cooler, you do get a lot more sightings. And, some of these northern states, like Pennsylvania and things like that, that's perfect ground, for, for something like that. I think the thing is, okay, let me explain to you this way. Like in my book, the Researcher's Guide, or the Beginner's Guide to Bigfoot, we talk about what proof is, would Bigfoot be out there and things like that. So I go into talk about, well, when you look at different parts of the country, where there's rainfall and so forth. Let me try and say this the right way so I'm not screwing things up here. That you have to sit there and look where would be the most vulnerable place that it would be. Okay? You have to look at where would the best food supply be. You take a creature like Bigfoot who's going to have 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. Okay? He's going to have water. You're not going to go find Bigfoot in an area where there's about, anywhere from 80 to 100 acres. Okay? It's very doubtful you're going to find something that big in an area that small. So you're going to probably need to look in somewhere that has over 100 acreage, to it. I'm sure that there are areas out there that's below 100 acres that, where Bigfoot has been seen. But, you got to go where the food supply is.
Right.
That's the biggest.
Yeah, I noticed there's been a lot of positive news about Bigfoot lately on the internet and stuff.
Well, we did. Well, I don't know if you guys seen the thing that the Bigfoot signing up by the trail cam that was down here in a little bit north of Louisville, where I don't know, man. I got a problem with that because the guy's wife's running everything, and oh yeah, she let the BFRO go down there and talk to him. But they're trying to get. I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing ill will about it, but it's just I question that, because I talked to them about the trail cam that they used, how they had it set up, and I'm sorry, they're not releasing any pictures before, and they're not releasing any pictures after, or they're only releasing the one picture. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I got, this is what they were saying. Well, the camera takes a picture, and it takes a minute for it to reset to take another picture.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of have a problem with that because most I don't know of any. Well, I went to the Pro Bass store, and I asked them, what camera do you have that takes a picture and it takes 60 seconds for it to reset before it can take another picture? Okay. And they said there's nothing out there that they know of that it takes 60 seconds to retake another picture, to reset itself to take another picture. Okay? So they're saying that's what it is. So they said it took a minute for this thing to come out of the wood line, to sit down and then to go back. Okay, so it didn't get the picture of it coming in, and it didn't get the picture coming out because it took pictures of some other crap. So, I got a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
So.
Have you gotten any possible photos from people lately of possible Sasquatch creatures or whatever?
No, nothing. No one has gave me anything. Most of the stuff that I've been getting just recently has just been, real quick sightings, noise, things like that, smell. Nothing really to, I think is to, to really get into. Nothing too spectacular.
Yeah. Well, okay, Joedy and Billy, thanks for answering my questions.
All right. Well, thank you, Bill, for calling in, and thanks, Henry, for calling in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
Okay.
We'll talk to y'all later.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Bye.
All right. We had another question earlier, back when you were talking about your sighting. Mr. New York had a follow-up question because of the way you described what you saw. He wants to know if you thought that it was more human than ape?
Through the facial features, I thought it was more. I mean, to me, it looked more human with a. You know, I mean, obviously, you know, the facial features had human, but I mean, it was a creature. There's no, you know, denying that. It was definitely a creature.
Okay.
You know, but it just had human traits to it. The nose, you know, was definitely a human nose, but it was flatter. You know, it just, I don't know. I mean, it just looked human. I mean,
right.
And I've got that from a lot of people that,
right.
you know, think, you know, seen a lot of human traits in those creatures.
Right. What we're going to do real quick, Jody, if you can hold on the line, we're going to go to a quick commercial break so that everybody can take their little drink break or their little restroom break or whatever. And then we'll come back. Can you hang on the line with us?
Yep.
All right. We're just going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back here in just about 3 or 4 minutes.
All right.
You are listening to Sasquatch Watch Radio. Stay tuned.
Paranormal Talk Radio, bi-monthly, Wednesday nights, 8 to 9 p.m. Central. Paranormal Talk Radio divas Melissa Hovey and Monica Rollins, never afraid to tell it like it is. Too hot for prime time. 60 minutes of take no grab you by the balls. Paranormal Talk Radio. 8 to 9 p.m. Central, every other Wednesday night on Blog Talk Radio. Paranormal Talk Radio with an attitude.
All right, welcome back, folks. Just a quick commercial break there for everybody to take a little break if they need it. Got another caller hanging on the line, so I'm going to go over there and grab them. Caller from the 651 area code, you're on the air.
Hey, Billy, DB, Joedy, it's Elusive One. Just called to listen in.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Elusive One, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Trying to get over this little virus I got here, but it's been one hell of a weekend, let me tell you that.
Oh, I know, man. It's going around. I had it here this, I don't know. My whole family had it, and then I picked it up, and I'm just now getting in over it right now. So every now and then you'll hear me cough, but it's pretty much gone now. But
Oh, wow.
I feel for you, man.
You're on the right road, man. I think I got another day and a half or a day or two to go yet before I'm 100%. But yeah, you just don't mind putting me on mute, and I'll just sit back. If I have any questions, I'll notify you in the host key.
All right, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, we did have a question that came from the chat room. I believe it was by New Zealand Squatch, I think. I'm not sure. But the question was, I don't know. I may be wrong. Actually, Blue Tracker wanted me to ask you about your Salt Fork sighting.
Salt Fork sighting. Oh, okay, I know what
the
you're
one
talking about.
Yeah, the most recent one.
You know, I never ever until this day ever said it was a Bigfoot. Okay, what I saw out there. Now Blue and I actually we heard something out there. Coming towards us. Tromping through the woods. We had our light and everything on it, and we didn't see nothing. But it was definitely coming towards us. So, but what it was, we were out with the Minnesota guys, and I was down at the bottom of the hill with one of the other Minnesota guys. He was down into the creek. I was standing up there with the flashlight and the video camera, and I was watching him and stuff, and I kept hearing something move behind me. It would walk and stop, walk and stop, walk and stop. Well, I thought maybe, there's somebody that, the guys that were up at the top of the hill, some of them were coming down, or I think you were with Derek that night, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
I think me and JC were in the woods. I think we were already in the woods.
Yeah, and then Eric was, I think, out by himself, or it might have been with someone else. And I thought maybe it was you guys moving. Well, it kept getting closer, and so what I did, I turned around, and as I turned around, my light that was on my head caught it. Okay, it moved one step from like one tree to another tree. It was a dark object. It was good size. So and that's when I called. I've got contact. I almost, because I was I had my stick and I was sitting on my stick, and when I came to turn around and saw it, I went down right on my ass. Because it startled me. And so the other guy from Minnesota came up the hill, and we ran up there to where we saw it at, and we didn't see anything. And I think you guys came off to the side, but you guys mentioned that something was walking in front of you guys, heading over to the direction where I had my sign. But like I said, I can't necessarily say what it was, but the Kiwi guys were out there in the field that night too. So I just, like I said, it was probably 30 or 40 yards away from me, maybe a little bit further than that. I'm not sure, but all I know is it was a dark object, and it took one step to get to point A to point B, and it went quick.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I know a lot of folks think that it might have been those New Zealand guys out there messing around.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I kept asking you. You and Eric. If it was you, tell me.
Oh no, we weren't anywhere in that area. That area that you were at. You're talking about down below the picnic tables, between the road and the picnic tables, down in that ravine area. And
yeah.
we were, where we were at. We were down that trail that you went down later.
Right.
It was further, away from the road. But we do know that those New Zealand guys were somewhere
in that vicinity, and
somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, it could have been them, and things, but there again, it could have been could have been anybody, that was out there. Actually, it could have been a Bigfoot for all we know. It's just I just didn't get enough of a good look because it was moving too fast, to actually determine. And one thing I will say, you know, it was close enough that it was a dark object. I mean, it was dark. And one thing I mentioned the blue, you know, tracker is that, you know, if it was clothing, I mean, I think I probably would have, you know, would have been able to pick something out.
Right.
You know, and stuff. But like I said, I you know, and it was right after that signing, you know, Blue and I, you know, were out there, and man, there was something coming towards us, and it was coming towards us fast. It was coming towards us heavy, and I mean, it was making a lot of noise, and and we had our lights out there, and we didn't see crap, but we sure to hell heard it.
Right.
You know.
Right. Yeah, those guys, you know, we found out later that they were out there because, of course, we found their vehicle, and when we had found their vehicle, they wasn't in the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it was later that they caught up with us, and they actually came from that side of the road. So God only knows where they were at.
Yeah, you know, they knew that you know there was people out there.
Right. So. Who knows? You know, we didn't see them. We were not saying that's who it was, but it's you know, it was quite odd. They came from that direction. So. Yeah.
So, and like I said, it could have been.
And depending on how that episode goes, depending on how that TV episode goes that they're getting ready to release, I might have more information to share.
Yeah. and that's why I'm just wondering if they has anything on there that, you know, but that's sad. Them boys don't want to show their face up around here anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we have other information to share, so we'll see what they plan on doing with that TV episode.
Now, is it going to be played here in the States?
You know, I'm not certain. They had sent the I don't know if you've seen it or not, Joedy, but they had put the video clip up on their Facebook. Lee Hart did. It's like an intro to their show. It starts out by showing some clips with him talking to Diane Stocking there at the lodge, and then it shows a picture of him with this black stuff all over his face. Now, you and me both know, okay, and Bobby Short's in the room too, so I know she'll agree with me on this.
Yeah.
You and me both know that if he really had that black stuff on his face, would Diane Stocking sit there and talk to him?
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
No.
You know.
Diane would get up and leave.
You know.
So, we know that was one of those nice edit, cut, put the stuff on, she's gone, and then another camera shot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know. But you know what? It's going to bite them in their ass, you know, because, you know, I mean, every paranormal conference I go to, I look for these guys. And, you know, and I came to the conclusion, you know, we're going to hang them by their nuts if I ever find them, you know, and stuff. And, you know, so I'm not playing the game there, you know.
I think Bobby's trying to, let me tell Bobby what I mean. I don't know if Bobby has seen this. Lee Hart, which is that fellow from New Zealand, Bobby, who was at Salt Fork when we had the Ohio conference up there. One of the video clips that he shared on his Facebook was a video clip of a trailer for the series that's coming out in New Zealand. Someone will have to remind me the name of the series because I can't remember. But they show a clip with Lee Hart interviewing Diane Stocking at the conference at the where we were eating at in the restaurant in the lodge. It shows Diane talking, and then it takes a picture of Lee Hart with this black stuff all over his face. Well, all of us know Diane Stocking, and Diane would not sit there and be interviewed with a guy with black stuff all over his face. I mean, Diane would tell him he's an idiot, and she got up and left.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, you know, and, you know, I don't know. They're like I said, you know, payback's a bitch. Yeah, and then you marry one. So
I guess we just don't understand their. I guess we just don't understand the comedy behind it. That's what I was told. Lee Hart actually told me that one time in an email. He says that I don't understand the comedy their way of making fun. I was like, well, I do understand the way of making fun, but not when it hurts someone,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway. Yeah, Bruce, we know Diane wouldn't let you interview her. Jesus, we won't let you interview us. Phone number for anyone that wants to call in, 347-237-5070. We still got another 29 minutes left in the show. Again, the number's 347-237-5070. And if anyone has any questions, of course, in the chat room, please put them in all capital letters so that we can pick them up. JC's picking up the questions and sending them to me if I miss them. And go ahead, Jody.
Well, see, Bruce is going to be out in the field one day, and they're going to catch him, and they're going to have some steak set out there with a baked potato, and he's going to see it, and they're going to have a string attached to it, and they're going to pull it, and he's going to sit there and follow it, and they're going to get him, and some Bigfoot woman's going to take him for his wife, for a husband, and stuff.
What it'll be? It'll be this. It'll be the steak with the A1 on it, and as they're pulling it, they're going to pull it right up to a net that's set on top of the leaves. Within the net is going to be a big old chocolate mousse pie.
I sat there and I told, oh God, what was his name? It's just the name just dropped. The guy that did Journey into Squashdom. Jesus. The one they wouldn't let up there at the Bigfoot Roundup. Scott Harriet.
Oh.
And I told Scott that, next movie thing that he does with Bigfoot, he has to do something about Bruce on being out in the field and, Bigfoot catching Bruce by a stake, and stuff. And I said, I'm sure you can find, someone to play Bruce, a good-looking guy like him,
Yeah, for all those people, too, that stay in the cabins out there at Salt Fork, if you find your screen peeled back and the window open, it was not Bigfoot. You must have had chocolate pie inside the cabin, and Bruce came in and got it.
Got it. That's right.
That's just so everyone knows.
Chocolate pie.
All right, folks. If anyone has any questions, just put them in the chat room or call in or whatever. So, Jody, I guess a good question that we this is what we usually start asking people towards the end of the show. I know, Bruce, I love you too. We start asking people like theories, different researchers, their theories on things. So, first theory question I got for you would be, do you think these creatures migrate?
I sit there and I thought about that, and and one thing that I came up in my book, I was talking about is, do they migrate? Would they be able to preserve, fat to live off of and things like that in the wintertime? Do they hibernate? Or if they're extremely territorial, creature. I came to the conclusion when wintertime comes, the food supplies will go down. Okay.
Right.
And they're going to move off to that area. I don't think environment really makes a difference with them. If it's cold, if it's warm, if it's hot, if it's raining, if it's snowing. Okay.
Right.
They're an animal. They live out in the woods, and God made them for a purpose to be able to survive. You and I, like someone, like me, and you, people that's been in the military and things like that, who's outdoorsmen and stuff, we can survive for so long in the field. Okay, these things can survive a lot better. So yeah, and I think they do. I think they're able to move to go where the food supply is. Okay,
right.
And that's the main thing. It's
right.
Food supply.
Right.
Okay, it doesn't matter what the environment is. It's where the food
right.
supply is.
Let me let me put in a disclaimer here, folks. When I ask questions, please don't think that I believe.
Yeah.
I usually ask the questions, and just whether I believe that to be a fact or not is honestly, I've actually expressed this a few times. I truly believe they do not migrate. I believe that they have a home range.
Oh,
Again,
I
this
believe
is
that.
all- yeah.
You know, I believe that too, and I agree with you. But on the other hand, I agree with the fact is, you know, food supply goes down in the wintertime. Okay, you know, it depends on the area. Okay, you take Ohio, you take West Virginia, you take Pennsylvania. Okay, you know, there's plenty of food supply in the wintertime. Okay, there's a lot of deer, there's a lot of turkey, there's a lot of small rodents, and there's still a lot of plant life out there, and there's still a lot of fish swimming in that cold water. But when you in certain other areas of the country, you know, because of, you know, the change of the environment, the food supply does go down. Okay, and like, and I agree with that. I agree with it to the point with like you do, but I think it's in certain parts of the country. I don't think it's all over the country. You know.
Right.
So, and it's a hard question
Yeah.
that you know they ask too, and it's a hard answer to give.
Right. Yeah, and Spin Dave is also right. That would be a hypothesis. You know,
Yeah.
we have to test that hypothesis, and it can be based on our on our experience or observation. So yeah, I stand corrected, Spin Dave. You're correct. Got to make sure we follow that scientific method.
Yeah. Well, the thing, like I mentioned in my book, okay, I mean, seriously, man, there's no protocol for nothing. I mean, seriously, the UFO field has a lot of protocols when it comes to certain things. Okay, in the ghost field, you know, there's some protocols, but there's nothing really in the field of Bigfoot on protocol when it comes to to give a proper answer on something, or even to follow some type of guideline, you know, on what we do. It's all guessing and just a lot of common sense.
Right. All right, let me grab this other caller here. It's been hanging on here for a while. Caller, you are on the line.
Billy.
Yes.
Hello.
This is the Creature Seeker.
What's going on there, bro? A1 Steak Sauce Man?
I just thought I'd call in and defend myself since you insist on bringing up the past on the air. So, first of all...
Well, you know, we all learn from the past, Bruce.
First of all, I did not peel back any screen to get at the chocolate pie. All
Bruce,
right?
your name came up first. As soon as the pie came up missing, your name came up first.
But Indy had purchased the pie just for me, okay? So I may have, taken a few liberties with the pie. That's true.
The whole thing?
It wasn't the whole... There was a piece left.
It was crumbs. It wasn't a piece.
Listen,
He
Joey.
left like a little... Have you ever seen those little slithers of pie?
A piece is shaped like a vagina, okay? A piece of pie. That wasn't a piece. Okay?
I think
Have you ever seen the little slithers?
Jody.
Have y'all ever seen the little slithers of pie they give you in the fancy restaurants?
Yeah.
It's like 2 inches at the crust down there, and at the thick part. That's about what was left.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about something else. You know. Yeah. So this is the same Joedy who, the night of his sighting, he yelled, "You better stop effing around!" And then he took his Bowie knife out and jammed it into a tree. That's why the Bigfoot never showed his face.
What?
Yeah.
Do what
yeah,
now?
Dude, you know that happened.
When
you told the
I
Bigfoot,
took my knife out?
Yeah, you took your Bowie knife and jammed it into that tree.
Which tree?
I don't know. I didn't check out its serial number.
Well, no, I was pretty pissed. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Because I was pretty pissed because I thought they were out screwing around. And, you know, I was pissed because I wasn't going to be made out to an ass because I was going to sit there and carve someone, you know.
Bruce was high on the list.
Cut someone, bitch.
Yeah.
Bruce was high on the list.
Believe me, after I saw him pull out the Bowie knife and jam it into the tree, I was, by the time he turned around, I'm like, "Where's Bruce?" I was home sleeping, okay?
You was mad at us, Bruce. You wouldn't go out and play with us that night because you walked off from us and you was mad at us. And you didn't want nothing to do with us that night.
Joedy thinks he's like Jim Bowie with that knife out there.
Goodness sake.
And good thing that you know, Bruce, I got a section in my book about knives also. The proper knife to take out into the field with you.
Really?
So if you have a steak. No, seriously, I did put a thing in there about knives. Certain knives are good knife. No, I'm serious. I highly believe you should always have a knife with you out in the field.
Oh, definitely.
And some type of a survival kit, some type of first aid kit, and I talk all about that. But I got some really neat pictures of some really good knives in there. So.
Well, you definitely should have a knife, and it's kind of optional, but I always bring some Skittles. That always you never know when you may have to rely on your emergency stash of Skittles to survive out there.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised it's not Reese's Pieces. You thought you was going to find E.T.
No, I like those little pickle sticks, the ones that's got the little powdered sugar in there, the ones that's got all the different,
Yeah,
I like those.
That's not pixie dust that you in there.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think we're getting off the subject.
So Joedy, tell us about the Salt Fork closings. Remember, you had mentioned that in the past about Salt Fork closing down.
Salt Fork closing down.
Yeah, you had mentioned that there was a rash of sightings and they closed down.
No, okay, Don. Let me explain this to you. Okay, for the last fucking time. Okay. No, I'm telling you, I was on Don's show. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don's my buddy and everything.
Yeah.
But he for a half hour straight, in as many different ways as he could, he asked me about that. Okay. And like I said, I was a young researcher. I was still a cherry in the field, and I highly believe that I got taken on that sighting, and I was gullible, and I took it and I ran. It was one of these things that came through 3 other people besides it before it got to me. Okay, so basically what it is, there was some multiple sightings up at the campground. There were daylight sightings, something to the effect 18 sightings, which in 30 some odd days, okay, and so forth, and so the campgrounds got closed. Well, I did go up there. Okay, the campgrounds were closed, but I believe the campgrounds were closed because of either season or because of construction or something like that. But hey, my phone's getting ready to die. I'm going to call in on my cell phone real quick, okay?
Okay.
All righty.
Give me a second. I'll call you right back.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, no problem. All right, Bruce.
Yeah, so
looks like just me and you.
Yeah, so Willard, don't talk about the chocolate pie incident at Salt Fork. That's just really, I'm trying to let that die, and you're blowing it all out of proportion. There's no.
Come on now, Bruce. We're just having fun with you.
Yeah, between that and then Don's got my picture up at Bob Evans down there in Cambridge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got a picture of you in a steakhouse, and I think I've got that one on my Facebook, I believe.
You do not, do you?
I'm pretty sure I do.
Man.
Of course, we were all right there with you, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Jody's back.
Yep, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's not a problem. I understand.
But as I was saying, it's just it was just one of these things that listen, every researcher is going to run across bogus reports, and they're going to take it line, hook, and sinker. Okay, and it was one of these things that I believe. I believe that there was an incident that happened, but it was just got a little bit embellished somewhere along the line by the time it got to me. Okay?
Right.
And and that's basically what it turned out. And I'm so freaking sick and tired of talking about it, and it's just because, it there's nothing more to it. you know.
Right.
So, but that's it.
So basically, the word that you got was someone had really, you know, made it a tall tale basically by the time it got to you.
Yeah, by the time it got to me, but like I said, you know, I you know, this came about 90. Oh my God, let's see, maybe 95, 96, somewhere is when I got it. Okay, so you know, you're talking what, about 16 years ago and stuff, somewhere around there. But it's just like I said, it just, you know, and I, like I said, that's when I'm just getting into the Bigfoot stuff, you know, and you know, I'm getting reports and stuff, and I'm writing this stuff down, I'm taking it, but everybody, one way or another, gets taken, you know, it's part of doing it, you know, and stuff, and it's just like, you know, and it's just, you know, I don't know if it's somewhat of Don's favorite thing to use against me or discredit me or whatever, you know, I don't know, but he loves to bring it up. So
right.
I think Don's just pulling your leg because he knows he can push your buttons.
Yeah. Yeah.
You better watch yourself, Bruce. Don's going to listen to the archive, and he's going to come after you.
Yeah, well, if you find me in Salt Fork slumped over a log with a Bowie sticking on my back, you know who the suspect would be. Mr. Joedy himself.
I never hurt you, dude. You know that. You know.
All right, here, Andy Drew's got a question for you, Joedy.
Okay.
He wants to know, have any eccentric rich cuckoo millionaires ever approached you to be a guide on an expedition to find Sasquatch?
No.
I think I know who he's
No. Who are we talking about?
But we can only hope. We can only hope, right, Joedy?
Huh? You know what? I sit there. You know, I would love for someone to say, you know, to come up and say, look, I'll give you all the money you need to go out and find the truth. You know, I mean, that would be great. You know, and things. You know, it's out there. If you had the money, you can do it. I'm sure. You know.
Oh, you know, I'm totally convinced. I mean, if I ever became independently wealthy, where I didn't have to worry about money, I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's I love being out in the woods and camping.
Well, you know,
where I'd want to be.
Well, you know, you take like the Bigfoot research project. Okay, these guys had 5 years and $5 million to do what they did. Do you? I mean, you know, and I mentioned this to Peter Burns, you know, when I talked to him, and you know. I know he got so close to excellent physical evidence or excellent proof and backed off. Because once they had something, I think the money stopped.
Right.
You know, and you know, and I think that's what they were doing. They were getting close, and then they would just let it fall back. Because, you know, they the next year was coming and there was another $1 million. You know, and you know, and you know, my thing is, it's like this. Okay, you know, do I think Bigfoot's in Ohio? Yeah. Do I have any physical evidence? No. But I tell you what, if someone gave me $1 million to go out and find it, if I don't find any type of physical evidence or anything, with the $1 million buying all the high dollar equipment and everything like that, then, you know, if I don't find nothing, he ain't here. You know, if I don't find, I'm not talking about find him himself, but find enough physical evidence, you know, and enough good information to prove it. You know, he just isn't here, or he just, you know, he's that elusive that you're never going to find it. You know, and there again, I hate to shoot up the promo on my book again, but that I talk about that. You know, like you take trail cams. Well, you know, people finding trail cams are all eaten up and destroyed. Well, bears are attracted to them because of the petroleum, you know, that's in the trail cams. You know, the plastic and stuff. You know, is Bigfoot attracted to something like that, or if there's something inside of petroleum that keeps them away from them? You know, is it because of the high pitch that, you know, that they put off sometimes when the picture's taken? Does that shoot them away? You know, things like that. You know.
How do you know that they're attracted to the petroleum, Joedy?
What, bears?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I mean, turn on National Geographic, pick up a National Geographic magazine. The bears are attractive to the petroleum. That's in trail camps. I mean, Christ, information is even on the internet.
Well, you know what? I rode my motorcycle across the country, and I went through many oil wells. I didn't see any bears hanging out there.
Well, no, I'm not saying that they're hanging out. That's like saying they're attracted, to Asian guys on bikes and stuff. I mean, you don't see them hanging around Asian guys on bikes. Handsome ones like yourself, and stuff.
Leave it to Bruce to think literally.
No, but I mean, I've spoken with, people through Cabela's, their sporting store. I spoke, with people from the Pro Bass about them and stuff. And both places said that a lot of people were coming up because of bears were attacking the trail camps because of petroleum that's in it. Why they're attracted to it, I don't know. Other than there's a part in the book I talk about where I went to the zoo and I was asking someone about that. And there's just different theories on why they are attracted to the petroleum. That's in the plastic. It could be the smell, that because it could be with the taste, or the scent or something. It's just there's no, I don't think scientific proof out there why they are, but I mean they're doing it.
I personally think they think there's something in it, like food.
Yeah.
Inside of it, they try to get it open.
Well, the thing of it is, it's like what Cabela's was saying. Okay, what's petroleum? What is it? It's
oil.
Fossil fuel. Yeah, but it's fossil fuel. It's from, it came from a living creature, a living being.
Yeah, but that was a living creature like 100 million years ago.
Years ago. But the thing of it is, a bear, can scent things that we can't. Maybe there's something in there that they can still sense. I mean, that was just a theory. I mean, like I said, there's just certain theories. They don't know why they're doing it. But they're doing it. Yeah, they and so, you're gonna be riding down the road one day, son, and they're gonna get pack-ums in there and jump your ass.
Joedy, I wouldn't make this offer just to anyone, but I know that you're serious, in this field. But over the summer, I had a garage sale, so I'd like to donate the proceeds of that to your cause. There's probably enough money there to buy a map of Salt Fork, but it's yours.
I've got an autographed map of Salt Fork from Don Keating, so kiss my ass.
He's got. There you go. You just forget it, Bruce.
And believe me, it means more coming from him than it would from you.
Oh, wow.
And Don, if you're out there and if you're listening, it's all in for fun. You still number one, Joe. You still number one.
Goodness sakes.
Oh,
well, I mean, my goodness.
But all kidding aside, there's really there's nothing, that an honest theory on why bears are, going up on trail camps. And I mean, the Monster Quest even had a show where they had a trail cam up and bear came and, attacked it, and they even mentioned because it was the, petroleum, that's in the plastic,
right?
And things. So, maybe, like I said, maybe there's something inside the, petroleum that, Bigfoot can sense and he stays away from it, because the pictures do put off a high tone when they are taken. Maybe that, keeps them away. Maybe they're smarter than what we think they are.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've noticed about my cameras is I can personally hear it at nighttime, and it's got something to do with the IR.
Oh yeah.
When that IR triggers on, you can hear it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In the daytime, I can't hear it, but that doesn't mean that it's not giving off some type of ultrasonic sound that I don't hear. And I haven't tested it yet with a tester, so I don't know.
You know, and the thing of it is, I mean, you know, their eyesight's pretty good at night, and you know, maybe it puts off some type of infrared lighting that they're able to see. You know, I mean, anything's possible. You know,
well, I know that JC has been testing some of those trail cams down at the local strip clubs, so we'll have to talk to him and see if any of them have been vandalized.
Yeah,
I
really.
guess he'll get you. He's going to get you later.
Everyone's going to get me, apparently.
Yeah, I think so. You're really making a list here of some people. You're on a lot of people's hit lists right now, so you better be careful. Well, we got about 4 minutes left of the show, Joedy. Is there anything else that you'd like to point out, maybe about your books or anything that's coming out?
And no, like I said, it's just like I said, the book on the beginner's guide to Bigfoot research. Like I said, I think that's going to be a really good book. I think I mean, there's a section there I also talk about for the female researchers that are out there, for women to get into the field, and I got a section.
Hey, real quick, did you name that JC's chapter?
No, I didn't. I didn't put the local strip clubs, but
okay.
But I put a lot of information in there about different books to go look at, to get information from a lot of different websites, because I put websites out there because it's public information anyhow.
Right.
So so I put a lot referred a lot of people to a lot of websites. Yours is one of them. That I referred people to to look into. And like I said, the book basically deals with with Bigfoot research across the country, and things, not necessarily just in Ohio. I mean, I talk about and there's a couple of different states that I handpicked out to talk about and things.
Right.
But like I said, I've never found any book out there for like a dummy's guide to Bigfoot.
Right.
Becoming a researcher. And like I said, I got a section in there called the Poor Man's Research Kit, when you're first starting out, and I got a picture laid out there, and it tells everything that's in the picture, of, what it is and stuff like that, where you can just go to look, Walmart to get basically the stuff that you need. Talk about different cameras, some of the cheap cameras and stuff that are out there. You don't have to get out there and buy all this high dollar stuff, camera-wise. There's a lot cheaper cameras out there, to use, and things. So, I think it's going to be a good book, and I really think that a lot of people are going to, use the book, and stuff. So,
well, just let us know. I mean, once you get everything published, if you can give us a release date and all that, we'd be more than happy to advertise.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For you.
Yeah, I definitely will. As soon as, like I said, as soon as the publishing companies get back with me to give me an actual release date. Now, I know the Traces with the Grassman will probably be about, 3 months, because, that one's going pretty quick, and that one's going good. And like I said, I did the, design cover, and stuff on that. I had someone actually do, the really good part of the design cover, but the photograph and everything on there is mine.
Right.
So, but it's going to be a good book. I'm real happy with it, and it was a lot easier doing it than I thought it would be.
Right.
And believe well, the thing of it is, there's a lot of these. Believe it or not, there's a lot of these publishing companies are looking for paranormal stuff, paranormal books. Man, they're jumping on that stuff. It's like, I've done a lot of interviews on national radio, and there's one particular site that you can get on that does national radio shows on paranormal, and they're looking for people to do paranormal radio shows. I mean, that's reaching, England and Australia.
Right.
And stuff. I mean, that stuff's getting, like, hot. And like I said, I've been going all over the United States on doing paranormal conferences, because people love the Bigfoot stuff. They're eating it up. I mean, and like I said, I'm making money. I mean, you can get up, seriously, you can get up to $1,000, to speak at a conference.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, real quick, Joedy, before we go off the air, just want to say thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will see you next Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have another episode of Sasquatch Watch Radio. So good night, everyone, and we'll continue this in the archive. Keep going, Joedy.
All right, but like I said, you can definitely make a lot of money doing that because people do come out there and they do want to listen to what's going on. So,
right.
And I never thought I would actually make it this far on doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So.
Well, one thing I have to disagree with you on, though, is that there is actually a Big Footing for Dummies book because I saw Willard reading it on the last expedition. And,
what?
No, was it?
What, buddy?
Big Footing for Dummies. Willard had it.
You better watch out, Bruce, because you're going to be landing here somewhere near D.C. here real soon. So.
That's not that's mean. You're mean, Bruce.
Hey, you know what? Now that I think about it, thank you, Bruce, for the idea. I bet you I could write a book like that and make some money off of it.
I think you
Hey,
could.
they got a for dummies book for everything else. Why not Bigfoot?
Why not?
Well, the thing of it is, I was going to do the name of the book, The Dummy's Guide to Bigfoot Research, but actually the people that but the people that own that do all the right books, so you're the Dummy's Guide to PC and stuff. I mean, they own that right to the.
I know they
dummy
do.
part.
I know.
And
I know.
Yeah. Well, I know because they sure to hell made sure that they knew that we knew it. So,
yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
that's why we had,
will.
So that's why we had to, change the name on the book,
right.
to, the Beginner's Guide, to Bigfoot research and things. So.
The Beginner's Guide to Insulting Bigfoot in the dead of night and menacing him with a Bowie knife.
The knife that I use right now is a Red Scorpion 6, which is probably one of the best knives out there, and stuff. And it's a $300 knife, and it's in my book, and stuff. And seriously, it's probably about the best knife to have out there in the field, because you can do everything with it.
Who makes it?
Huh?
Who makes it?
It's called Red Scorpion. It's if you go on their website, Red Scorpion 6, or if you look under Tracker Knife.
Yeah.
If you ever seen the movie The Hunted, that's the knife they used in there. But it's one of the best knives, and I talk about it in the book because I really that's the biggest thing. You really should have a knife out in the field, and I talk about it's always good to have two knives. Have a smaller knife for basic cutting stuff, gutting small game if you're stuck out in the woods, and then you got a larger knife they use for a lot of chopping, and stuff. So.
And it's good to have a knife too if you grilling steaks out there too. So.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm sure with a good point on it, so that you can turn the steak on the grill.
And so, well, you got to turn the grill.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, Joedy,
Joedy, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. Anytime.
Tell us about that. And JC told me to make sure to tell you that he'll be seeing you in Kentucky.
Be seeing me in Kentucky.
That's what I was told. So that's all I'm going to say
I
about that.
have no idea what you're talking about.
Because Joedy likes that fried chicken down there.
Well, what's in Kentucky?
The Colonel.
We can talk about that later.
Huh? No, are you joking or are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I'll talk to you off air, off archive about that.
Okay, well, hang up and call me and let me know what you're talking about.
All right, I will do that. I'm copying down your phone number as we speak, so that I can do that. But anyway, we'll see everyone here. Everyone here next week. Sasquatch Watch of Virginia is going on expedition this coming weekend, and we will probably dedicate the show next Monday night, to any results and any stories or anything that happens up there. So we'll see everyone next week. Bruce, thanks for calling in. Joedy, thanks for being on the show, and I'll talk to you real soon.
All right, call me right away.
Yeah, I will. Give me
Okay.
a few minutes and I'll call you. Good
All
night,
right, buddy.
everyone.
Sounds good.
Good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
A legend silently stalks the forest around the world, leaving giant man-like footprints in its wake. Skeptics scoff while the true believers search for the answers, and those who have seen it will never forget. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, Blog Talk Radio. Billy Willard and the Blog Squatcher present Sasquatch Watch Radio. Your hosts Billy Willard and D.B. Donlin bring you 60 minutes of the latest news and information, newly discovered evidence, and interviews with those searching for the truth and those who have seen it. Do you believe? Want to know the truth? It's out there waiting. Monday nights, 9 p.m., Blog Talk Radio. Sasquatch Watch Radio. Sit down, hold on tight, get ready, because it is about to go down. blogtalkradio.com/Sasquatch Watch Radio.
Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why? Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Ah, the sizzle of McDonald's sausage. It's enough to make you crave your favorite breakfasts. Enough to head over to McDonald's. Enough to make you really wish this commercial were scratch and sniff.
And if you're a sausage person, now get 2 satisfyingly savory sausage McGriddles, sausage biscuits, or sausage burritos for just $3.33. Or mix and match. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.